All right. Good morning and happy Monday out there. Or Tuesday, I should say. It's like our Monday, though. Happy start to the trading week. Hope everybody had a great extended weekend. Gonna have a big week ahead of us here with the overall market testing some very critical levels here in the shorter term. Hope everybody's morning's going well so far, though, as we start the week. I'm sure lots of people started the week yesterday, though. But hey, the market was closed. Looking at the SPY here at open, we are seeing a nice initial 5-minute candle starting to post. Of course, we just opened, but looking at the SPY itself, it bounced off of a critical zone of support here between 676 and 678. This is a big zone. If we go to a SPY hourly chart, we can see the hold of this zone recently. The most recent hold, just at the end of the last week, and then, of course, another hold back on Wednesday, January 21st of this year. We're already almost a month from that point. It's February 17th now. Pretty crazy to say. Time is flying. Good morning, Pew Pew, Zach, Jose, Tangy Man, Steven, Rick, Jake, DeWise. Hope I'm saying that correctly. 6573 is what I'll say. Wolf Killer, Ramirez, Xavier. Welcome in. Man, so far today, nice green candle right back up. SPY's still red on the day, though, down 0.05%. Starting to run back, a little bit higher here. Aramis Fernandez. Manicured. Happy Lunar New Year. I didn't know that was going on, but happy Lunar New Year. That's pretty cool. Palantir holding its ground. Running back up. It gapped down this morning. Was pretty interesting, but moving back up here at open. Nvidia going red. Uh-oh. Not the chip stocks. Advanced Money Destroyer moving down as well. A lot going on from yesterday into today. The leading headline on Bloomberg: U.S. futures drop as AI worries linger. Gold slides. Uh-oh. GLD gapping down 2.8%. How's silver? Silver gapped down worse, 3.9%. Granted, it is usually more volatile, but I'm definitely watching silver more to the downside here. Way more than the upside this week anyways. Really nice support though, silver. Hourly chart coming into play here, looking at this support zone. We'll see if it can hold up or not, because it's been a big zone for silver. It's generally bounced there. Generally bounced, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of it holding here again in the shorter term. It's already tested it a couple times. Silver rules, Vintage says. Uh-oh. I'm not trying to go against it. It's just what I'm seeing here. Lunar New Year means Chinese COMEX is closed. Oh, is this the celebration where they close their markets? It's like 2 weeks or something, isn't it, Tangi? Or Pew Pew? Tangi says, I bought that Palantir wick at 6:29 a.m. Oh, wow. They said Bargain City. Chinese New Year, yep. Good morning, RSB. How's Tesla today? Uh-oh, 1.6% drop off. Looking at Mag 7. At least Nvidia is coming back at open here. Google. SPY's pushing up too. There is an event going on this week in India, which is going to be pretty big. The CEOs and leaders of these huge AI companies are going to be talking. Let me pull this up really quick. Here it is. Let me scroll down and find the so the key speakers at this summit in India are going to be Alphabet CEO, OpenAI CEO, Anthropic CEO, Reliance Chairman, Google DeepMind CEO, and it says that they'll all address the event on Thursday. That sounds pretty huge. That is a big one. Looking at the market right now, though, again, SPY's still holding this overall bottom range. Look at that support bounce coming up here. That's a big hold. Wow, that is a good bullish sign so far for today. For those of you in the Discord, make sure you check out Trading Stream Limited if you have a free account. If you're in the trading floor, make sure you check out pullbacks and high-risk breakouts. In those channels, I post SPY levels and analysis every morning. Right now, there's big support at 676 to 678. At the same time, there's big resistance at 686 to 688. We have a big range of resistance, but again, a big range of support. The SPY's kind of stuck between there over the past couple days. And what I'm looking for is, are we going to be breaking the top end of the range, or are we going to break the bottom end of the range? I'm definitely leaning more towards the top end as of today, but I've been increasingly worried in the short term that we're going to start breaking it down. Especially with the way the market sold back off last week. That was a pretty massive drop off again. Really testing the lower end of this zone and the overall market structure here. Because if we start to see these supports give out, market structure will be breaking down. The uptrend will be giving out. You know, we look at SPY here on the daily chart. I mean, it's been testing the lower bounds of this trend pretty well. And if it starts to really give out here in the short term, like we start to confirm under here, like really confirm under 676, it's going to be game on in my eyes. We had a weird drop under 676 recently, where the SPY pulled all the way down to like 670, 671. I believe that was on some weird earnings starting at the time, and stocks really dropped off there like when the market closed. But note how the SPY came right back. I'm not even going to count that as like a true breakdown. That was a weird after hours move, which didn't even hold up actually, which is good. If we would have confirmed under it the next day, it would have been terrible. Good bounce back. AI in 26 will be insane. Degenerate says spied a big doji on the daily. Yeah, it did. Yeah, Friday. That was Friday's candle. More of a huge doji. Some people look at those for reversals. They don't always have to be, of course, but do I, Jake, or do I sense a hint of sarcasm there? Ah, finally, Mason. Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of silver down in the short term. My friend's dad got a bunch of ZSI? What's that? Oh, like he bought the stock. ZSL. Ah, ultra short silver ETF. I gotcha. ZSL. Wow. Yeah, that's really strong today. 8.8%. That's pretty cool. He might do pretty good with that. At least in the short term. Yeah, I wouldn't want to hold it too long. I hope he doesn't plan on that. Oh, Mason, is he doing that because it's about to reverse split? It's about to do a 1 for 10 reverse split. I hope he knows that, Mason, because if he doesn't, he's probably going to think he made a lot of money whenever he wakes up that day until he realizes that his position just flipped. That's actually going to be pretty funny. Get ready for the texts. Tesla. Not too much today. At least yet. Pointing more to the downside, though, than anything. SPY's been great. Turning back around, though. Pretty hard, actually. Giving it all back. Not all yet, but pretty close for just a few minutes of dropping there. If it drops down just a little bit more, it'll be game on. Wonder if we test the low of pre-market, Mason says. Looking at pre-market right now, that low's pretty far down there, 677.16, but we could be there pretty quickly, as we know. That'll be an interesting move if we do. As of right now, I'm noticing the SPY's kind of staircasing up so far this morning, but it seems like that structure is going to start giving out here. probably do it like this. See if SPY bounces at all. Doesn't seem like it's going to be holding any structure too well so far today. But who knows? Maybe we'll see a hold. Gonna be fun to see what it does, though. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, looking at MGM as well. MGM had tried to really test that upper bounds resistance earlier in February it was, but really fell off here. Shorter term. I guess everything kind of did, though. SPYs fell off. Past few trading days too. It just seems like the SPY's in a spot right now where it's getting very choppy, and gosh, it's getting pretty weak too. Again, if we start to break through that lower zone of support today, that is going to start to open up the floodgates, I think, a little bit more, at least in the ultra short term. Let's look at some headlines on CNBC today. Anything crazy so far? Iran partially closes Strait of Hormuz, a vital oil checkpoint as Tehran holds talks with the U.S. Oil prices stable as Iran conducts war games. Strait of Hormuz. Ooh, closing the Strait of Hormuz could be rough. We'll see how that starts playing out here. It says partially, so I don't know how much it's going to affect things, but we'll see. Netflix and Warner Bros. I feel like there's a new headline with Warner Bros., Paramount, Netflix every day. I swear, like, there's always something new lately with them. They're saying software shares slide again. Ooh, did SPY break under that in the short term? Broke under that little intraday trend for a second here. Seems to be getting a bit weaker. It's kind of testing 680 right now. Elon said his wealth is 0.1% in cash. Oh. I guess when you have that much, it's not a big deal, right? But hey, I guess you don't need it. Keep it in those businesses. Elon seems like he likes some crazy stuff, but he doesn't seem like he, you know, does like... He's probably not like the craziest spender ever. I'm not quite 100% sure there, but you know, seems more like he nerds out rather than going nuts. Cash, the way cash loses value, I guess it's kind of smart. Man, SPY pulling back here pretty crazily. Speaking of cash, don't forget, guys, if you're ever looking to park cash and just take a nice, easy dividend, SGOV is a pretty way to go. We're trading essentially an ETF on 0 to 3 month treasury bonds. It's a pretty easy place just to park some cash and let it flow. Like if you ever, let's say you have a brokerage account, and let's say, you know, you're waiting to buy the dip, like you're waiting for SPY to fall a lot or crash, or you're waiting for the next pullback or something like that. SGOV is a great place to park it. You'll just get that dividend. You don't have to worry about like the company doing good or anything. It's literally treasury bonds, and the only thing that might change a little bit is you might just get paid a slightly less dividend. That's all. The EFO. Oh no. Yeah, he might be in that way. I just mean like it doesn't seem like he's like what are we gonna say? Like, you know, he doesn't like drive around like flaunting it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like pew pew. Or like, you know, it doesn't seem like he drives up to some mansion with like diamonds encrusted in it or something wild. Or it probably is something wild, but I'm not saying it just doesn't seem like something like that. I feel like that's been a pretty big secrecy thing with Elon. I feel like I've never seen pictures of stuff like that with him. But his companies definitely do. I'll tell you, when you get into those rockets with SpaceX, now you're talking. Man, SPY really selling off here since breaking through that trend line. Xavier said, what about BOX? BOXX? Alpha Architect, 1 to 3 month BOX ETF. Yeah, no kidding. Nasty, Zachary. That was a pretty bad 1 minute drop off there. On that trend giving out. Testing our lower range of support. Now, this is a big range. Mainly 676 and 678 are the two levels that I'm watching, but yeah, you know, I think Microsoft could be a really good one to average into, Elite. It's probably going to keep going down in the short term, but if you're starting to dollar cost average, I think it's getting to some smarter levels here. What do you think about QQQI? The high income ETF. Go check this one on FinViz really quick. I'm assuming you like it because of that dividend, right? I mean, it follows QQQ's chart pretty close. It has a 14% dividend, too. I think that it's a smart one to grab if you can grab it at the right time. You know, right now, it's right around support with the QQQ. The QQQ is right on support on the daily, too, of course. Looks like it moves with it, but gosh, that's a big dividend. It's honestly not bad. You just really need tech to hold up and do good, that's for sure. Let's say you would have bought this at the beginning of 2025. Let's see. All right, so if you'd have got it on like the first day of 2025, the stock would be down 0.75%, but you'd have made 14% on the dividend. And of course, that dividend's shifting a little bit, but I like it. I think it's a pretty interesting stock. I think it's a good one to hold as well. It's not going to be as safe as parking cash like SGOV will be. With SGOV, it's like literally just a passive dividend. You're not really making any real money on like stock movement or anything like that with it being the Treasury bond ETF. But whenever you're looking at QQQI, I like this. This is a nice one. Right to pre-market lows, Mason says. Yeah. Oh yeah, like Jake says, only if you want dividends. Yep. Wow, that SPY pullback has accelerated like crazy here. I wonder if Iran news is starting to hit and trigger things to the downside a bit. Very early this morning, there was some news where Iran's foreign minister said that we've reached an understanding on main principles with the U.S. There's been good developments compared to last round. The two parties will work on potential agreement documents and exchange them. All right, we'll get it going. No, I'm kidding. I guess I'm not. Yeah, get it going. That's a pretty big pullback, though, starting to take place with the SPY, I must say. I'm really looking for some news here, and I'm not finding what I like. Not as good a news as you really want to see. Pre-market low broken now. Demir lost $20. Big sad. He did say Apple's holding up though. AAPL and the Mag 7. Yeah, they're holding up well. They're not pulling back near as harshly. Google is down here. 2.6% a lot. You can tell though Apple's really held up better than almost every other Mag 7. Every other Mag 7 pulled back pretty bad. Amazon's trying to bounce back up, but the rest are not even really trying. It's just complete sell-off here. Tesla's probably going to test $400. It's only 3 points away. It'll be there in no time at this rate. Wow, are we going to see market structure break down? This is going to be crazy here this week. Let's do a poll on the overall week. Will the SPY go red or green this week? I'm going to say, instead of saying will it go red or green, I'm going to say will it close? All right, 3 options. Let's see what we get. What do we think this week? Will the SPY close red or green? Close green, close red, or close flat / choppy? Damir's gonna say, I'm gonna say barely close green by the end of the day. Oh, by the end of the day, okay. That'll be interesting if that happens at this point, Damir. SPY's actually down. How much on the day now? Let's see. 0.75%. That's pretty rough. Haha, Savior. It's like we get a sound button for that one. Gosh, there's a plane flying overhead and it sounds freaky. SPY's getting really close to more major support that I've had at 676. This could be a first stop for a bounce. Possibly. It got very close just a minute ago. Got within about 30 cents. Weak green candle, weak at best. It's definitely not the strongest ever, but it's not a bad bounce starting to happen here. Thoughts on Intel to the downside. Now that's an interesting one. Intel's been starting to turn over and get a lot weaker in the short term. I'm a fan to the downside here. I like a continuation down for today, tomorrow, like literally for this whole week, essentially. Of course, there will be some green mixed in probably, as there just happens to tend to be. But whenever I look at the whole week this week, I'm leaning more down on Intel itself, given what we've seen recently. Now, if they come out with some news or there's some hype or something, then things might shift. But for right now, that's the outlook on this week. I really don't like the way it's been turning over on the daily. Got pretty high. We saw that big earnings, like run up into earnings, then big drop, and yeah, very shaky right now. I think it's gonna start to cool down, especially with all the memory chip problems coming out lately. Not that Intel is necessarily all memory chips, but still, that's playing a big role in just about everything that uses chips. The problem is that CPUs are not very popular for, you know, these data centers and things like that, all night gamer. I know what you mean, like when you say you keep up with the tech there a lot, but like, you know, these guys, they want to have like the big, like, you know, NVIDIA H200 GPUs and stuff like that, like in their big data centers, like rather than, you know, the Intel and AMD CPUs. And of course, CPUs will probably be used at some point within the data centers, but just not in that sense. I totally get what you mean though with like normal, I guess, people's computers. Like, what would we say they're the public or consumer electronics. Yeah, consumers, yeah. Yeah, AMD though really pulling back here at open. They fell right through $200 today. Pretty rough drop, helping to add to some of the selling pressure that we've seen. SPY has been bouncing back though since it got to that lower end of our range. Are we gonna get another zigzag, crisscross, up, down, side to side type of movement again today? Gosh, at least last week we had some good price action that, I don't know, was more solidified to like the downside on Thursday. That was a very fun day, fun morning, good opportunities all around. Friday was a bit harder, I would say, given the chop that ensued. Still some decent directional action, but yeah, this is going to be a big week here for it's going to be a huge week actually as far as AI goes. Going to have a lot of people speaking on Thursday. Yeah, I like that. That's what I'm thinking too. All Night Gamer Thursday for sure. We're going to have Google CEO or Alphabet CEO speak. OpenAI CEO, Anthropic CEO, Reliance CEO, Google DeepMind CEO. Oh, I meant to say Reliance chairman. Sorry, not their CEO, but you get the point. 3 huge AIs there. I would say just, Alphabet, OpenAI, and Anthropic. Huge. Sam Altman will be speaking as one of them. That'll be sick. In a 4-day week, might introduce FOMO. We just had some earnings for the brokies who swing trade. What? Yeah, this Friday is going to be big though, guys. Looking at the rundown for this week on the economic side of things, it's not the craziest week. There are a lot of Fed speakers. If I go to 2 stars here, even today at 12:45 p.m. and 2:30 p.m., we're going to have Barr and Daly have speeches there. Looks like Wednesday we're going to have building permits, durable goods, housing starts. I don't expect that to be crazy. But at 2 p.m., we're going to have the FOMC minutes come out. And at 1 p.m., Bowman is going to speak too. So we have Bowman and FOMC minutes on Wednesday. Going to Thursday, again, another Bowman speech in the morning. Bostic speech. Initial jobless claims. Kashkari speaking. So lots of Fed speakers this week. Friday, core PCE, GDP, personal income, personal spending. If you guys didn't know, PCE data is the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge. At least Jerome Powell's mentioned that. They like to look at the core more specifically, but we'll see how that goes. Kind of give us an insight into how spending is. I'll expect some market reaction Friday and pre-market for sure. Hard to make the call on it, but I expect something. All right, guys, give me 1 sec. Quick intermission. Gotta grab a water. Be right back. It's that time. All right. We are back. We have a Gatorade and we are set. What is going on now? Apple's still holding its ground, actually moving higher now. Up 1.5% on the day. Notice how Nvidia and SPY have pretty much the same exact chart. Of course, that happens a lot with tech, but they seem to be really mimicking each other here today. At least so far. BYND or AGL. Beyond Meat. Help me swing trade. So you're looking at Beyond or AGL? Beyond looks kind of rough, I'm going to be honest. AGL is pretty crazy. Gosh, AGL's a bit too high for my liking at the moment. I was like, Beyond? What the? I'm glad you're joking. Wow. Yeah, Beyond has been crazy, though. They had that... What happened with it again whenever it popped up here in October? I can't quite remember, but... It had that weird pop, I remember, recently. Fairly recently, anyway. Look at Tesla on the daily chart, guys. Tesla's starting to break under a major support zone. Look at all these supports that are giving out with Tesla here. Pretty rough turnover. In your first 2 months of trading, you bought Beyond and didn't know you had to sell the stock to get money in your balance. Saddest day ever. Oh. That's funny. You didn't know you had to sell it? Now that's funny. So we have a poll going. Will SPY close red or green this week? What do you think? Close red is winning the vote. 66% right now. That's a pretty big vote. Will SPY go red or green this week? Everybody's saying red. I don't blame you with how the SPY has been turning over. Every time it's gotten to this lower level, though, it's bounced off recently, so we'll see if it does it again. But it's been holding it pretty well. I'm not too confident, though, in the short term, given all the weakness that we've been seeing and given that it is the third test now. Apple broke 260. Will it pull back? AAPL. Whoa. Wow. Gosh, that's crazy with Apple to see it up that much. Considering how weak the market's been today. Tangy goes, I'm only up 12% year to date now. How awful, Tangy. How awful. You started investing on August 28th, so everything you bought and sold since. SNDK, AND, Intel. Wow. That's crazy, gamer. Tangy Man said the sell-off needs to end soon. My stack of cash is getting pretty thin again. How's Energy Fuels? Uh-oh, Tangy. Breaking through a big support from recent. It might be starting that big downward cycle again. Demir says, don't you know February's a discount month? Tell him, Demir.
All right, all right, all right.
Ooh. Tangy. Even Greta's mad now.
How dare you?
Whoa. Oh, you sold your uranium stocks? Nice, when they were overblown too. That's the way to do it. There goes SPY, still bouncing back off 676. It got very close to support. Wow, now the 1 minute candles are really starting to fly. Not seeing any news. I've been eyeing it up, nothing crazy that I see here. Looks like just normal price action for now. Figma has partnered with Anthropic to turn AI-generated code into editable designs. Oh wow, they popped off pretty good in pre-market, but they gave it all back. Let me refresh this really quickly. This is getting laggy. Sometimes you just have to refresh TradingView. It starts to get messed up. Well, I don't know. Maybe that didn't help. It got worse. What in the... Figma here. I've been looking at them on the daily chart. They've been starting to entice me a bit more. They do have earnings coming up here. Wednesday, tomorrow. It's so much different starting out on Tuesday of this week, isn't it? Did everybody have a fun weekend, though? Anybody do anything fun? Hope everyone had a good one. Fear and greed index at 33 of 100. That's not bad. Gosh, I'm looking at some of these events this week, and I just can't get away from the AI summit going on with all those big AI players. That's going to be a big day. Maybe they'll all announce something crazy, and we'll see a market-wide recovery. Should be just a couple trading days away. On the 19th, Thursday. How are the value stocks today? Haven't checked in on them at all. MCD is actually pulling back finally. KO is pointing higher though. And Coca-Cola, guys, still pointing up. Pepsi's actually giving it back finally. How about Big Cat? Caterpillar pulling back. All right, so we are starting to see some value stocks pull back a bit. I'm not too surprised. Let's look at DIA, Dow Jones, pulling back the past few trading days as well, giving back a lot of those gains. Let's see Target and Costco, though, with Walmart. They're holding up pretty well. Even Walmart's holding up fairly well overall. It just slightly pulling back. Came back from Japan Sunday and went snowboarding yesterday, RSB said. Bittersweet to be back home. Well, hey, welcome back from Japan. How was it, RSB? Did you have some of the best sushi you've ever had? Don't forget to vote up in the poll, guys. Will SPY close red or green this week? What do we think? Red or green on the SPY? Red or green? If you don't vote, Greta's gonna come to your house and protest.
How dare you!
Whoa, look at her. She's excited. See you later, Demir. Demir, you would have been excited. I made some omelets this weekend. They were good. The best Wagyu beef ever. Ooh, now that sounds great. It actually came out yellow, Demir. You would have been excited for me. W all night says. Go make one, Demir. Send us a picture. That's hilarious. Man, this is just such a choppy day. A lot of support holding up, but more downside action than upside today, so I'm leaning more down here. Watch for that 676 support to possibly start to give out here today, guys. I see you, Demir. Still up 33% on CWEN. Clearway Energy. Nice. Let's see what leads our watch list to the downside today. Trilogy Metals, TMQ. Uh-oh. Down 15%. That's bad looking today. QBTS, Quantum, down again. We look at these quantum stocks. They've been down a lot in the short term. D-Wave Quantum, selling off. Pretty rough fashion, too. How's Bitcoin today? Pulling back on the daily, down 3%. Not looking the best. If Bitcoin's 60K support gives out here over the next week, sometime in the short term, it's going to be pretty rough. Poor Bitcoin. MSTR and Coinbase kind of mimicking that downside move today. Coinbase down 5%. Or sorry, Strategy down 5%. Coinbase down 1%. Tansy Man says BTC's going to 45K. I've said it before. I'll say it again. 45K would be pretty nuts. I bet everyone will be trying to buy it up down there. But it's pretty wild, Tangy. PAX, PACS, 7.6%. PAX Group Inc. Stock's been doing great. Wow. That's a great pump for PACS. Yeah, keep it on the radar here. Very strong. I do find it funny. People were buying Bitcoin at 90K saying it would go to 180K. Now it's trash. And people are so funny, Tansy Man said. Yep, that's the trading logic. That's the human mind in motion right there. Tesla's about to touch 400. Guys, do we see a bounce or do we not? I bet there's a lot of buyers stacked up there on the book map. SM Bot's actually throwing out Tesla puts. But granted, it is at support, so be careful. Pretty big buy wall coming up. 100,000 shares or so on Tesla. Stacked up there. Some of these big volume dots reach 50K shares, 70K shares, so we got to keep in mind that volume hitting at the moment is going to be important as well. Hopefully the double, triple bottom forms and holds and breaks back above on SPY. Looking for a support hold today. I don't know. It's not looking very promising for one. Pointing more to the downside. Oh, rough PA. Couldn't tell if you were joking either. It seemed kind of funny. Intel charts wild today, Elite said. INTC. Up and down. Yeah, seriously, that is a pretty volatile chart. Big up and down moves. Now that's the definition of chop right there. Traded XRP all weekend. It was moving for sure. A lot of up and down, Dylan said. Go to the hourly. Oh, yeah. Had a pretty big run there in Saturday night into Sunday. That's funny. Gave some back, but looks like it had some really good opportunities for day trading. Lumentum just came out the gutter. I forgot their ticker. Light, that's it. 2.7%. I was thinking of Lumen. Lumentum. They have a big $600 resistance coming up. That's going to be tough for Lumentum to break through. Oh, it's always possible given some of this price action, though. Wonder what MongoDB's up to? It's the only AI tech stock I've seen put to use on a site you've used. MongoDB, MDB. Wow, that's pretty crazy all night. I'm surprised you haven't seen more. QQQ flush continuation, Vintage said. The QQQ flush on the daily looks rough here, guys. 5-minute chart. Yeah, continuing down. Just broke through the low of the day a minute ago. Before immediately popping back up. Keep in mind, we are looking at 1-minute candles, so you're going to see lots of intraday volatility, but You fumbled compass? Don't forget to vote up in that poll. Will the SPY close red or green on this week? Red is really winning the vote so far. I guess because we're starting the week off red, but it's not that crazy. Yeah, keep in mind it's the overall week. On the overall week. What if we get that PCE data come out Friday and the SPY returns back? I'm just throwing stuff out there, but vote however you want. I like it. Just get them in. Only 52 votes. That's not very big. We could get more votes than that on a Tuesday, first day of the week. Yeah, it's literally on like a 2-week close, Mason. It's pretty crazy. I could not imagine that for the US market either. Elite. How dare you, Elite?
How dare you?
No panic selling out here. SPY support coming up, though. I like it. 676. It's literally testing the lower bounds of this larger range here. This is starting to look brutal. We might start to see a flush. Mind peeping CEG Constellation. Ooh, great intraday action up to $300. Oh, that's going to be a tough resistance now that it's sitting at it. It had great action, though. Wow, yeah, really good comeback on the daily, too. Gosh, this one looks extremely strong. It's just, if you picked anywhere for resistance to be at on the way up, this would be like right where I'd be looking. $300. It lines up well where it's bounced a lot. Tough for a breakout today. I like that daily trend, though, starting to form back up. You went golfing yesterday. You should have seen how bad the first hole was, flooded with groups. Oh gosh, the course was not prepared for the new year. That's hilarious. Don't they like make it where, you know, they don't like overbook it or like... That's wild. Yeah, you definitely think. There's a couple courses around me, Mason, that are pretty popular, and a couple of them get like that. And man, it's annoying. It's actually so annoying that I don't even play a couple of them. You know what we haven't looked at in a long time, though? Is Callaway. What are they trading as nowadays? CALY? Callaway Golf Company. Okay. Man, this is a wild stock. CALY. go see Coinbase again. Any good action? Trying to come back a little bit. All right, SPY, let's see. Ooh, 675 coming into play here. Or sorry, 676. Literally touching the support. This is starting to look pretty rough. Oh yeah, me too, Tangy. I don't mind it being too crowded, but like it's gotta be moving better. Sometimes the places with the starters are annoying, but sometimes it's good, so they keep people going. Dang, SPY. Tansy Man says, I'm old and grumpy. Man, my dad was like that, Tansy Man. He would get pissed at the starters and stuff. It was hilarious. Palantir getting flat on the day, unfortunately. Tesla, pretty rough overall, but it's really flattening out here at $400. Pretty big support seems like coming into play here. Right at 400. Looking at Mag 7 on the Mag 7 setup, Nvidia is starting to solidify down under 180. Uh-oh. It's not looking the best. How's UPS looking? Ooh, down to 115. I'm feeling really good about locking in a lot of those profits up here at the top. Just leaving some scragglers. I really like that. You skipped the whole 10? I would skip too. I know a lot of people that do stuff like that too. Me and my dad used to do that. He would... Sometimes, of courses, my dad would have me skipping all around, man. Like, we would skip from, like, hole 10 to back to hole 2. And, like, somehow skip hole 1 if it was crowded or something. It was weird. Every once in a while, the people would come up to us and say something, but not usually. Not usually. With all the software, big money plays coming out, would you eye IGV as one of the more secure positions? Had a great pullback today, but figured I'd ask. Expiration 6/18. IGV. iShares expanded tech software sector ETF. Big support here with IGV at 80. Very large area of support. Let's look at that daily again. Let's eye up that big money trade. You're talking about this one, right? Or you're just saying eye it up in general? IGV does have big support here, though, right around $80. This is going to be a big zone for IGV to hold. It might go slightly lower in the short term, but yeah, this is a very big area of support here. I like it as long as you get enough time. I think that if you just go out to June, that's really not enough time for me. It's like 3 or 4 months, and you'd probably only want to hold for like 2 of those months. I like going out to January of 27 still if you're going to try it. That way you can really hit on like a real uptrend if it starts to come into play and hold it for a much longer period. But I could see you going shorter term. Just if support gives out, you know, you just have to be willing to cut pretty quickly. I also like that you're getting in as it's pulling back. You're really sniping it here. Makes it a lot higher higher potential on the, especially on the risk reward. Whenever you look at risk reward here, the potential is fantastic. Let's see. Stop out under the recent low and maybe target like a good recent resistance, and your risk reward's 1.8, and that's not even if you really hold. Yeah, I like the idea here. It's pretty interesting. And I do think that software can make a bounce back as well. It's just going to take a minute, but I do think that software will have a good comeback. HIMS has taken such a hit, Jake said. HIMS. Yeah, there's been a lot of big ones lately, probably just because there's been so much activity in the sector. Yeah, HIMS is really taking a hit. This one is starting to get brutalized here. Wow. HIMS and hers. That sell-off is massive. I'm going to be eyeing it up for the longer term as it drops, but be very patient with something like this. It's really hard to catch a falling knife, and some of these growth stocks have been falling down in such a crazy way that it's really hard to catch them, or yeah, it's really hard. Hell yeah, Elite. No problem. Gosh, HIMS is probably going to keep going down in the short term too, given the way that it's been moving. SPY really bounced off support here at the lower end of our range. 676 ended up holding up, at least for the short term. We'll see how it goes here into this morning, but this is pretty interesting. The good guy said, buying the SPY dip, 3-month call contracts if average in, or I'll average in if it keeps dipping. Yeah, as long as it doesn't end up being a huge major pullback, you know, you'll probably be coming out pretty good from that if you're setting it up correctly. Of course, if we turn into like a Liberation Day thing or something, then, you know, you can't really help that, but it's just the nature of the beast. Does that mean a healthcare bubble finally popped? Ooh. The healthcare bubble? What? Speaking of healthcare, I've not looked at a lot of these healthcare stocks in a few trading days, but a lot of them have been coming up off of the dips in pretty good ways. Pfizer turned around today. They've been a big one recently. Pulled back hard today. That was a big turnover. Walmart pulled back too. They ended up continuing to pull back today. Some of these value players could not hold up. $58 votes. Will the SPY close red or green this week? Red is the overwhelming majority vote here today. Looks like everybody's looking for a larger sell-off to ensue, and I don't blame you, given how the SPY's moved lately. Look at the SPY testing this lower bound and lower range of support again. This is going to be critical for the SPY. Guess I'm going to line it up perfectly with 678. Nah. It looks good how it is with the range. CNC is holding pretty well. Centene. I know a lot of people were looking at Centene off of that big dip, and they had really ripped back. I mean, that was a great move throughout the middle of that year. What happened to the music today? Turned off on us again? How dare it?
All right.
Hims has like 3 major lawsuits after him too. I know, for messing with the, or not canceling, for copying some of those other companies' weight loss drugs, maybe amongst other ones, but yeah, I did see some of those coming out recently as well, adding lots of selling pressure to Hims. Trump RX is coming out too, which is probably going to be better. Gonna be a wild week though, especially with the way things are starting off here with this selling pressure. Who knows though, maybe we'll wake up tomorrow and SPY will be gapping back up. I wouldn't be too surprised given how everything moves here, of course. Tom, you should get the K. Oh no. That would be pretty funny, manicured. From the Rounders movie. I've never seen that. Palantir's pushing the high of the morning. We're at triple topped. Pushing that triple top at this second. Lots of talks with still the memory chips starting to, I guess, have supply constraints. Starting to definitely affect other parts of the tech sector as well. Ooh, what's this? AI disruption mentions surge to record. Ooh. Let me see that. Corporate managements increasingly acknowledge business impact. Oh, wow. Yeah, more mentions here in Q4 2025. I like this quote. A few months ago, the market debated whether AI was real, said Gene Boyven at BlackRock Investment. Today, it's seen as an active threat to business models. We believe the hunt to sort the winners and losers reinforces AI's massive build-out and borrowing spree buy to finance it. And the borrowing spree buy to finance it. These are... She worded that really weird, but... I like the first part. A few months ago, the markets debated whether AI was real. Now it's a literal active threat to business models. That's a good point. SPY so far today holding off that bottom support. Still bouncing back. Those of you that are trying to play support today are probably really happy with these comebacks for these scalps. It's a gambling movie. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Rounders. Interesting. Some of those can be pretty good. City's out here posting up ramen in the off-topic channel. It's the good-looking ramen, too. It's making me jealous. Yeah. Just use AI to get it done, Coconut. It's really threatening a lot of things out there. That's for sure. That's a good little push here by the SPY, though. Might be getting a pretty decent intraday recovery starting to come through. Learn to weld. I've actually welded a couple times. It's pretty difficult, but not too bad. I probably didn't do a good job, but Ramirez says, look at coin. COIN. Coinbase, whoa, ripping through 168, pushing 170 now, up over 3% on the day. Wow, that's awesome. Whoa, look at Nvidia and SPY ripping up, Tesla, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta. Good comeback there by Mag7. You're using your AI server right now to produce videos for marketing. Whoa. Hope my stuff doesn't freeze here. I'm starting to lag pretty bad. I think my RAM's leaking on me. Speaking of that, though, it's about time to end the stream anyways. So perfect timing. Pretty good comeback starting to come back with the market right now, though. SPY's pushing 680 again. Pretty solid resistance on the way up. Might be able to get through there. Lots of chop today off support, so watch for a possible bounce back again. Like what's been playing out. But alrighty, guys, let's go. Pretty good start to the week here. Interesting price action. We saw some good movement out there, though, from a few sectors. Coinbase was a fun one today, of course. One of the bigger movers back up. Looks like the airlines were actually moving quite well. We missed those ones earlier, though. NCLH ran up 8%. They didn't even report earnings today. A lot of these have been very volatile lately, so keep your eyes on that. Banks, JP Morgan did pretty well, slowing down a little bit, but let's go. Pretty back and forth day. Time to see how that SPY shakes up here into this afternoon. Are we going to keep holding support? That's a big level on the daily. We're going to end the poll, 63 votes, 60%. An overwhelming majority voted that the SPY will close down in the red this week. So that's a pretty big call, looking for the SPY to fall. Maybe you're going to look for puts. Put opportunities this week. If you're looking at it down. It does feel like there's been a lot of negativity coming in, and we could see that turnover happen. I think one little bad piece of news here, and we'll be flying down. Get ready for some Iran action. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Happy Taco Tuesday. Let's go. See you in the